exactly what's happening. So as you can see from here is 401, and that typically means that your authentication details are wrong.
Bo,
Can
I interrupt Rishad? Because there was an interruption. First of all, sorry for all the people watching, and we may have to repeat the last one. We're at the moment in a diagnostics area, and Bo's showing what happens if you are configuring problems into your configuration. Then you'll have errors, and those will be available on the diagnostics. And he just showed a page that has an error. Sorry for interrupting, Bo.
No problem. So as we were mentioning, inside of diagnostics, you get a list of all of the transactions that's happened between the two systems. And for anything that has an error, you'll kind of see that what the outcome was inside this result column. And if you see any problems, you can open up to see the full transaction log to see what actually happened, what went wrong, so that it can help you in tracing back into what the root cause was. Or if you want to raise a support ticket, our support team can use this to help diagnose the problem as well.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. There's another question that was posed, and is that really bi-directional sync? I can answer yes, because Bo showed that earlier. You may have joined in late, but at the very beginning, Bo showed that both changes in Salesforce and in JIRA will be reflected in the other system. And yeah, that should be an answer. Just chat me again if there's more. Sorry, go on.
Oh, no problems. Okay, so that kind of covers mapping. So you do have to be a bit more careful when configuring the mapping, but there is a tool to help you in finding problems if problems do occur.
Okay.
So moving on to the mapping scheme. So for the JIRA administrators out there, this should be quite a familiar concept. So what a scheme allows you to do is create a reusable set of configurations that you can use across many projects. So similar to, let's say, the custom field configuration, under field configurations, you can say for these projects, for these issue types, use this set of configurations. So that's what this allows you to do. This allows you to say which mapping that you saw in the previous section to use for each of the issue types and each of the projects.
Okay.
So if I go in and press configure, you'll actually see that for for this particular configuration, I've chose to have opportunity mapped to task. So basically, for any project that uses this scheme, you'll make the task issue type within that project available for opportunity synchronization.
As we saw.
Yeah. And for cases, that's everything else with the exception to task. This kind of allows you to also control which issue types you can map into. So if you want to, I guess, push the case from Salesforce.com into JIRA, you don't want them to select, let's say, annual leave as an issue type, because that wouldn't make sense. So you'll limit it to the ones that will make the most sense from a business point of view.
Yeah.
So similarly to all the other schemes in JIRA, if you go into the project view, we've added a little section underneath fields where you can actually choose between the various mapping schemes available. So if you want, you can have 10 different mapping schemes for the different types of projects you have available, and just switch between them from this screen here. They take effect immediately, so there's no wait. It doesn't cause any delays in the JIRA system. It just happens.
Okay.
Okay. Going back, I'll skip remote issue links for now. I'll be covering that a bit later on. And the last two is pretty straightforward. So support kind of just give you details on how to access this different support for each of the different connectors. And licensing allows you to install the license for the connector. So as you can see, Salesforce.com has a valid license.
So what does it cost?
The cost depends on how many users you have in your JIRA system. It's probably best to go to our website to see what the different tiers are. But I think the cheapest one will be the $10 10-user license.
Why don't you just show us? Or I can...
Yeah, sure.
So you matched the user numbers that JIRA has, right? Like 10 and 50 and 100 and so on.
Yeah. Yeah, we matched the exact user tiers that JIRA offers. It's not so easy to find, apparently. There you go. So these are the different user tiers. So as you can see, the first year is actually a bit more expensive, whereas ongoing years, we kind of follow the last year pricing scheme and halve the renewal price.
Mm-hmm. So if I had like 50 users, I would have to pay $1,000, and if I had an unlimited user instance, I would have to pay $4,000, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and half the year after that.
Yeah, that's right. And
Okay.
This will generate the license on the spot, so as soon as you pay for it, it's all good. But here you can also request for evaluation license, which is the default option. It's free, it lasts for 30 days, and you'll get it very quickly.
Okay.
So if you want to have a go, just drop by the site and you'll be there. Or if you don't know how to access this site or you don't want to bother, you can. There is actually a link in the plugin. So if you go to the licensing screen in the plugin without the license installed, it'll tell you how to register for evaluation license in about 2 clicks.
Okay, perfect. Here's another question that is rather for me. Why on earth do I need Seibert Media anymore? And why do you present that? Thanks for asking that. Actually, let me answer on the latter question first. We're presenting that because I think this is valuable stuff for all the people who already use JIRA or who think about using JIRA and may have some use cases that are delivered today in Salesforce which aren't as good. So the main reason for us to have Bo present the customware solution is because we think this is valuable stuff for customers. And the second part, why on earth do I need Seibert Media, is let me get my screen. So if you are in Germany and you're talking German and you don't want to deal with Bo in English, you can go to us and have us do all this stuff. If you want to have on-site service in Germany, you can call us. If you want to, in what situation ever, want to have the loving and caring that Seibert Media offers, you can come to us and buy this solution through us. What we do as Seibert Media is we do offer like 10% in services on plugins like these. So if you buy these plugins, we'll throw in some services from Seibert Media. In most cases, this is not the motivation for customers to buy through us, but it may be another reason. Actually, if you are somewhere on Fiji and you're just dealing in English on your daily business, it will be best to directly go to Bo or to Customware and ask them, which is no problem. We're a quite big German provider of Atlassian services. So if you're in Europe, you may want to consider contacting us, but it's completely optional. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. Sorry, Bo.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, so what else can you say us? Here's, so yeah, no problem. He thanked for the answer. And he had another question, which I think could lead to interesting. Show me more resources. Where can I find out more? So I've seen this video now or the live session. I want to know more about the connector. How do I get there?
I can share the website now, or we can add some links to the live session with the video later on. Yeah. But we have a wiki.customer.net, which actually contains a lot of the information, both about our connector framework, which is used across all of our connectors, as well as the documentation for each of the individual connectors. So I have my Confluence instance up. So as you can see on the left, you can see the framework at the very top, which kind of covers what we've done and some of the general concepts that we've used to make it generic across all of the different remote systems that we try to connect to. If you want to have more specific information about the Salesforce.com connector in general, you can go into the documentation. It has quite a bit of information about how to use it, what the various options are. We actually offer 3 different stacks of functionality. So let me see if I can bring it up.
Yeah, I think that this answers the question already. Getting started, user guide, administration guide, and so on.
I recommend people go to this page before they implement this in their production system, just to see which stack suits them most. We did a comparison between the 3 different stacks and just kind of compared them to see what they offer that the other ones don't. So it's great to take a look at this page. It's called Before You Start Integration Features. It gives you a nice clean table to kind of gives you all of the different scenarios that we do cover and which one will be more appropriate for your use case.
Okay. Perfect.
Great. So in addition to all of that, so we'll go back to demoing a bit more of the features of the connector. So I'll bring back the demo issue that we created earlier. So in here, you can see that there's actually a contact field here. This contact is a live reference to Salesforce.com as a contact object. So if you hover over this and click on it, will actually take you to Salesforce.com for Edna Frank, which is a contact that I've associated with that issue. So the great thing about this is that this is not the view that you'll get, and you can configure this to be whatever you want it to be. So if I go back into custom fields, we actually offer 2 special custom fields. I'll demonstrate one of them for now. The other one is exactly the same, but it supports multiple. So basically, you can associate multiple contacts, multiple accounts, multiple cases, multiple opportunities. But just for reference, I'll demonstrate the functionality on the single tool. So here we have the contact custom field, which is our own special custom field, and I'll go to the configuration page. Here, the configuration page, as you can see in the body, it's actually wiki markup working with velocity. So if you're not familiar with those 2 languages, you don't have to use it. I just chose to be a bit more fancy in my display here. But basically, you can do fields dot, let's say, email, or fields.title, and update the template which renders what gets shown on the screen. So as you can see, I've added the email and title again at the bottom of the contact, and so now appearing on the screen. So it kind of gives you that configurable or on display, so you can show the most important information in the most compact form to your users to make the most of the screen space, and also just concentrate on what's important to the user.
Cool.
So this is available for all of the custom fields, and it'll kind of simplify things so they don't have to go into Salesforce.com to be able to look at the information.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so moving on to the JIRA 5 specific ones. So I'm not sure how many people have had the chance to play with JIRA 5, but it's been released for just over a week now. And we've actually added a few more features which are only compatible with JIRA 5. And I'll demonstrate those right now. So from this, I'll use this issue again, just for demonstration purposes. So I'll go to more actions and go on link. So those who have been using JIRA previously, this is what the existing issue linking feature used to be. And this has been expanded upon in JIRA 5 to be able to be more flexible and a bit more robust and a bit more feature rich. So we've added a third option to this, which is a connector link. This allows you to connect to any of the connections that you've configured and link to any object within that system. So let's say I want Salesforce.com, I want it to be a case, and I want it to be, is that a right ID? No. Okay, I'll get a valid ID and put it in here. So as you can see, this is a very simple and very quick way of adding associations.
Mm-hmm.
So the benefits of this is extremely quick. It's extremely simple. You don't have to configure anything. It just works out of the box. As long as you put in your Salesforce account details inside the configurations, then it will start working immediately. The downside is that this actually does not do any synchronization. This is a pure reference. For more information about the differences between this and the synchronization functionality that we demoed earlier in the presentation, just go to the page I referred to in the documentation about before you start, and it will kind of show you the differences between the two.
Okay. Here's another question.
So this allows. Go ahead.
There's another question. Are you supporting the solution, or is it someone else at Customware, or is it just a standard support, or?
We actually have, I think, 4 levels of support. So the first 2 levels gets handled by our support team, which handles most of the some are, I guess, how does this work type issues and configuration type issues. Once it gets into more complex, like solution-based issues, whether it supports this or whether it supports that, it gets escalated to the development team. Mm-hmm. I'm actually acting as a product manager, so I only get some of the, I guess, blocker or new feature type features or requests that come up. So
okay.
If no one else can handle it, it comes to me.
So please think of a difficult question if you want to get to Bo. You can drop him an ad mention, and if he doesn't like, he may refer you to the support team, but maybe he answers.
Our support team is pretty good. We built a repertoire of some, I guess, common support requests and some nice screenshots and some nice videos about how to handle those situations. So sometimes it might be better to go through the support team because they have those ready on hand, and they're a bit nicer to follow than page-long emails.
Yeah. Okay. What else is new in JIRA 5?
That's actually the main one, but they actually allows you to link to a lot of things. So if you go to Salesforce.com, these are the objects we do support.
Mm-hmm.
I'll scroll slowly. So everything on that list we support.
Yeah,
there's quite a bit there. And for a lot of people, that's actually too much. And we've actually catered for that situation as well. So if we go to plugins, I skipped this option earlier on, but I'll come back to it. So in here, there's a remote issue links option. So if we go to salesforce.com, you actually list all the ones available.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually just choose to disable some of these. So let's say select all and disable.
And then they won't be offered. Yeah. Yeah, understand.
As you can see, everything is disabled except for case. And once I go back to the interface, you can see that case is the only option now. So that kind of gets rid of a lot of clutter on the interface, so that it reduces confusion with the users, because a lot of the users won't understand if they have 1,000 options in front of them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking the time. I think this is plenty. We try to limit the time a bit to make these videos not that long, although we we have 2 parts now, which wasn't intended initially. As I said, thank you very much for presenting that. If you are in the audience right now and you have another question, please pose it now, because I'm quite trying to end this with Bo. Is there anything, Bo, that you think people should be aware of when they test the connector? Actually, one thing you should be aware of is that this is a commercial plugin, so one day you might want to pay. Anything else?
I guess also, if you're using some of the other systems that we offer connectors to, the other ones are actually free, because we partner up with the vendors themselves to create those connectors. Mm-hmm. So if you're using things like Zendesk or Get Satisfaction or UTest or SourceLab, you can actually use those ones for free. And the functionality is almost identical. It changes a little bit from the interface side. So let's say from Get Satisfaction, you won't press a button called Push to JIRA. You'll press something else. And there are subtle changes, but a lot of things work just as is. So I'll give you an example. In Get Satisfaction, let's say I want to link to a topic with this ID, and it comes up.
Yeah, perfect.
If I want to link to Zendesk, same thing.
Yeah, nice. And then that helps me to make sure that all my software systems are kind of connected to each other, and I have a good overview of where did it come from and so on. Okay. No other questions here. So I would say thank you again, Bo, for taking the time. And if you are interested in this solution, please refer to the link you see on the screen, or send Bo a tweet, or just get into contact with us. We're here to help you and communicate with you. Thanks again, Bo, for being with us.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thanks for your time.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.